Welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a 986 Boxster on the channel. Today is the first time I've actually ever driven, shamefully, a 986 Boxster, and I also have some exciting news. You can now win this car for a few quid, and literally a few quid. I think it's the cheapest tickets we've ever done on classic giveaways. This car right now, it's now live with an opening introductory offer. The tickets get more expensive as the competition goes on, and then when it sells out, we draw it, or we draw it in 1 week's time, regardless of sale. So let's take you around this, let's go for a drive, and I'm gonna reveal also my big news. I'm gonna give you guys and girls a snippet as to what on earth has been happening and what this big project is that's been going on behind the scenes that I've been teasing for actually far too long now. It's coming with an apology when I get going driving this car. But I'll give you a little tour of the car, then we'll crack on. So then, we've been wanting to do one of these Boxsters for a long time with classic giveaways, but we haven't actually been able to find the right one. But the time has finally come, and we've managed to dig out an absolute belter. This car then is a Porsche GB Owners Club car, and all the paperwork and everything with it is absolutely ridiculous. It's all in a big Firefax with tabs and everything like that. And you can see on the windscreen, Porsche Club GB owner. The people in the Porsche Club GB really look after their cars, and this car is a 60,000 mile Boxster S with impeccable history, and also comes with a hardtop roof. As you can see, being the S, you also get bigger brakes, you get the bigger engine, and as we always do with classic giveaways, this will not surprise you at all. Quick wrist check. We've got the new Cartier. It has the all-important manual gearbox. We do not do autos with classic giveaways. We haven't done an auto yet, and if we ever do, it'll be a PDK. But that's the interior, classic silver with black. What a wonderful place. And the head unit has been uprated also. So then, what is it like to drive a manual 2003 Porsche Boxster around London in pretty much rush hour? I must admit, the thought didn't fill me with much excitement. The thought of taking this out, filming a little video with it around in the centre of London. But actually, it's a pretty relaxed affair. It's pretty subdued. I don't really have any gripes. I'm very comfortable in here. The driving position's nice. You've got quite a lot of visibility. A little bit of a blind spot there where the roof meets there, but actually it's way better than it is on the 996 911 and the 997 Cabriolets. Both of those have a massive blind spot. This is actually a lot smaller, and the footprint of the car is a lot smaller as well. So you do feel a little bit more in control of what's going on around you. That's one thing that I don't like about my 997 Turbo. You can barely see anything out of there because obviously you don't get that rear quarter window. But it's nice. It's very nice. Get a little bit of shove. Driving around, the brakes are very responsive. The gearbox is nice and tight. It clicks in as you'd expect with all Porsche 6-speed boxes. They just work brilliantly. There's a real satisfying kind of thud when you put them in each gear. Not a huge amount of throw. It's just good, as you'd expect Porsche to be. It's just not rubbish. They don't make poo cars at all, let alone really from this era. Clutch is actually pretty light. It's very easy to find the blind spot. You can't really get it wrong. And the nose, these bumps here are notoriously horrible. I've scraped the SLS there before numerous times, even being careful. The SLS doesn't ride that low, but it got over those with ease. It's good. The ride isn't too harsh. Road noise isn't appalling considering it's a cabriolet as well. Actually very happy. There's a slight noise from the hardtop, as you'd expect, but I assume, you know, if you get rid of the hardtop and just use the soft top in the summer months, you won't get that kind of that noise, because obviously the hardtop has gone over and above where the soft top goes on. The soft top folds back and then you shovel the hardtop on there. But all in all, I'm very impressed. Loads of things are electric that I didn't think they would be. I mean, it is 2003, so it's not that long ago. Probably just being a bit harsh. But the steering's not too heavy. I'm trying to think of negative things to say about it. The roof was one of them, but that's negated when you start using the soft top. This is kind of more of a winter top sort of thing, so right now it's probably the right idea to have it on, but most of the rest of the time you wouldn't use it, I don't think. I think it's one to just chuck in the garage, or big yellow self-storage, or a storage unit over and above your parking space. So as I said then, you can win this particular car, the one that I'm sat in right now, fastidiously owned, collector's item, actually this, the conditions in, and all the paperwork and the provenance with this car, for a few quid with classic giveaways. It's a much cheaper ticket than normal. We've got very few tickets in total. It's a fixed amount of tickets and it's a guaranteed live draw. You know the score by now, and someone will be handed the keys to this mint Boxster S right in time for summer, and it will be me handing over the keys if you're really unlucky. So good luck with that. I'll leave the link below. There will be an opening offer in the first 24 or 48 hours, so the tickets don't get cheaper as the competition goes along. The tickets get more expensive, so the earlier you enter, the cheaper you get it. Now, what can I tell you? We're going to get on to what I've kind of been keeping from everyone for probably the best part of, I would say, 6 months now. Back in, well, I'd say the back end of the summer last year, pretty much autumn, I started harping on about a project that I had in the works, behind the scenes. And I started citing it as a reason for being slightly more sensible with cars and not just buying everything under the sun, you know, just ordering endless cars, deposits on everything like I used to do. The first element to that was I'm growing up. I've actually got sick of that. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But the second element to that was I was preparing for a potentially financially ruinous project, like a life, like a step up in life, like the next chapter in my life, if you like. And I don't want to talk in cliche terms like next level and project, like you've probably heard before, which is investor-backed guff. This is my own personal stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's now at the point, I haven't checked my emails as of the past hour, but I think I'm about to exchange. So what's happening behind the scenes, some of you have guessed it, I'm buying a proper house. And I will of course show it on the channel. There's gonna be a whole load of stuff I'm gonna get into in a second about that. But I'm buying a proper house with some proper garaging, and there's gonna be a proper base to live from. Now, a lot of you did bring up the Cotswolds house a few times. When I announced that back in 2020, just after I bought the Corolla GT, I announced the Cotswolds cottage, and I did a little bit of renovation on it, and we did a series of content there, which will carry on to an extent because I'm not done with that place. But I did get some comments saying, TG, how come you got all these expensive cars and your house is crap? I got those comments. Genuinely, people said that in varying terms. Some were ruder than that, and to an extent, I get your point. I did get it when people said those sorts of things, and I was ready for those sorts of comments when I announced the house, because I've been banging around in hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of cars over the years. And then when I said I was buying a house, I think most of you expected to see a 15-bedroom palace with, you know, a fountain in the middle of the driveway, and I think you probably expected to be all a little bit Manny Koshbin. I'm not there yet. I'm not even within 4 zeros of that bloke, I don't think. But you're right, the cottage in the Cotswolds was always just a very, not cheap, but a very reasonable place to lay my head in the Cotswolds. It was a reasonable bit of garaging. You know, moving 2 cars out there saves me £700 a month in London, moving them out. And that house actually was never really intended for me to live in full time. That was actually a little bit of guff that I gave you guys and girls. It was always meant just to be a holiday home. I didn't want to seem obnoxious about it. I actually just wanted somewhere to stick my cars, if I'm honest. I knew the Cotswolds would be a great buy at that point in time. It was a fantastic price I got it for. I'm probably, goodness me, just behave yourselves. I'm probably about 250k up in that house in 3 years. It saved me £700 a month along the line, storing 2 cars there, and it's just a nice place to sleep every now and again. I let my friends use it, I let relatives use it, I let my girlfriend's relatives use it. It's kind of just a free-for-all, that place, and it's just a nice place to have out there. It's a nice option to have. It's been a great thing to do with the money, and I've got a couple more plans with it down the line. So Cotswolds place is staying. I'm not selling it, it's going to stay, but I knew in my heart of hearts I didn't want that place as a forever home. I love it, it's great, it's too far out of London for me to be a forever home, and it just doesn't have the space that I want and I reckon I could stretch to be able to afford. So I started looking summer last year for a new place with lots of space for cars, London-ish. I don't want to give the location away at all, really. I don't want to tell any of you where it is, because we've had some scares. So there is a nice big place coming to the channel and to my life. I'm going to keep my London place, my London apartment. as I said, I'm going to keep my Cotswolds place. I've kept my buy-to-let as well. I've got a Muse house, which has never been on the channel. I've never even really discussed it. So I've got 3 already. I'm keeping them, and this is going to be a 4th. I'm moving in with Ianthe. We're going to be living there together. And it's kind of like that next stage in our lives, really. No sound of tiny feet yet. I'm dreading that. And no rings on fingers either yet. So yeah, there's been a lot of peer pressure from mainly guys actually on my channel telling me to stick a ring on her. I can either buy a house or I can buy rings. I can't do both at the moment, and so who knows, that might be coming down the line, but that's what's coming. I'm sorry I dragged it out. The first place I went to buy was actually a barn conversion. There was a problem with the lend. It wasn't built in the right way for the lend. It needed a specialist lender. The drainage was a farce, and actually the vendor wanted to retain the land on either side of the barn conversion. It was being very shady, it was being very rude. So that's where I intended to go, but it didn't work out. As with buying a house, there's always a mess around, and that was no exception. That was actually horrendous. So that took months to come out in the wash that wasn't going to be a thing. And then over Christmas, I was going through the process of getting a lend on another place, which I think should have just gone through. There's nothing holding me back. I've sent the exchange money across, and we're good to go. So I think that's that, really. I think that's that. I think we're in a position now where I can reveal that on the channel. That's what's happening. Sorry if you thought I was going to go to Koenigsegg and pretend to buy a car with someone else's money. It's not that, I'm afraid. I'm just buying a house that literally, for me, it's a dream home. I'm sure I'm going to still get some of you going, oh, I thought you'd live in a bigger house than that, or oh, my dad's got a bigger house than you. Probably does, but it's my 4th. I'm only in my 30s, so I'm happy, more than happy. And there will be garaging. There's going to be garage chat. There's going to be all sorts of stuff there. Ianthe said, go wild with the garage side of things. Do what you want with that. As long as I don't touch the rest of the house. I get an office, a study, and then she's told me to leave the hell alone, everything else. So we've actually started a new channel as well, myself and Ianthe. Ianthe's probably going to be the main host on it, but there's a new channel to go and subscribe to. I'll leave the link below to that. It'll be empty right now, but there'll be videos coming to that with the renovation as it happens. So I'm super excited about that. It's a brand new channel, and it's going to be me and her on there. I'm going to be doing the garagey stuff on my platform still to an extent, but the majority of the renovation and the entire journey is going to be on that channel. So she's going to be hosting that mainly, which is quite nerve-wracking for me. Ianthe hosting her own channel, but it should be good. Should be really, really good. She's got a great eye for these sorts of things, and I trust her implicitly with kind of renovating the place. If it was me, I'd just park cars inside. I'd smash the whole downstairs through and just park cars inside. It'd just be basically a car park. I'd turn it into an NCP with a bed above it. So she's in control of that. That's it. That is it. All very exciting. So to recap, classic giveaways. I'll leave the link below to win this car for a few quid. It's an absolute little stonker. I love it. And there is a brand new channel as well that I'll be producing content for very, very, very shortly. So make sure you sub, because if it doesn't get a load of subs, I'm not going to bother with it. So please do make sure you go and subscribe. You'll see lots of Ianthe on there, lots of the dogs, a little bit of me, some car stuff, some renovation stuff, but the key thing's going to be renovating, adding value, making a massive difference, but not spending a huge amount of money. We're going to try and do it cleverly and try and do as many hacks and little things and tweaks that we can do to add value to the property, but without spending $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I don't even have any bucks right now. It's all tied up. So that's coming. So please do make sure you subscribe to that channel. And I can only apologize for taking so long to reveal that. I'm sorry if anyone's disappointed. I don't just want to be a car review channel. I want to document all sorts of stuff and just take you guys and girls along for the ride, whatever I'm up to. So yeah, sausages, it's not a hypercar. Once we're in, I financially take a breath, I will go back to buying some aggressive cars. I have a few things earmarked that I know that I want. I'm going to do it as soon as pretty much as soon as I can. It's going to probably be within the next 3 months. I actually don't need to take that much of a breath. I'll be all right. I was just holding fire because I didn't know how much cash I was actually going to need to stick in. They have wanted 20% though, which is a bit of a kick in the head. But we move. It's absolutely fine. But stamp duty alone was like 160 odd grand. Not funny, and you can't stick that on the mortgage. So yeah, it's been a bit of a whack, ladies and gents. Anyway, for now, thank you very much. Do subscribe, blah blah blah. Make sure you hit the links below, and I'll see you all very soon. I'll see you at the live draw for this car. Bye.